Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to show you guys a modification that I've done on my pickup truck that probably a lot of you would like to do on your own. It does take a little bit of work. It's not super easy, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 2. But you just need to have the proper equipment to do it. So this is my 2020 F250 Superduty trimmer, and it came with the, well, I ordered it with the 5th wheel prep package. And most of you know they have the Superduties. They come with these little plastic puck systems, or puck covers, and every single time you touch them, they get all misaligned and they pop out and they're just crap. So I thought, well, there's got to be a better way of doing it. So I kind of came up with this idea, and you can see these are all solid steel, and they've been rhino lined like the rest of the bed. But basically I want to show you guys how I make these things, and how you can do it yourself. The one thing that you are going to need is you are going to need a welder or know somebody with a welder. And yeah, let me show you how I make these things. So here's a close-up of it, and I apologize for my workbench. I've been doing other things and haven't had time to put all my tools away, but so this is kind of a close-up of it. You can see it's been rhino lined top and bottom, and this stuff, I've had this on for probably about 6-7 months, and I've gotten loads of rock, thrown heavy objects in the back, dirt bikes, just normal wear and tear, and these things have held up just fine. I don't have any chips or anything on them. So yeah, also there's going to be a couple little short videos of me and Lowe's buying these items, so I'm going to edit those in here. So I'm not the greatest editor in the world, so it might seem a little odd with those videos just cut in. But anyway, so what these things are is you go to Home Depot and you buy these. So these are for ceiling fans, and basically they go up in the drywall, and then your ceiling fan mounts off of it. So these are what I used. You can get them either in the 4-inch, which is going to be your center, the one center puck you need to use. And you can see they're not that expensive. And then down here they have the 3.5-inch ones. See there? Those are 228, so you'll get a 4.5, or I'm sorry, a 4 and a 3.5. That'll be for your center puck, and this will be for all the other ones. And basically they go up in the drywall, and then your ceiling fan mounts off of these. So what you do is you buy, they have a 3.5-inch one, which are for the smaller pucks, and then your big one in the middle. This is a 4-inch, so it's a little bit bigger in diameter. And this one you're going to have to weld a flange on around the outside of it. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. But so you get 2 of these. Well, you're going to need a total of 5. You need one big one, and then you need the 4 smaller ones. And they're fairly cheap. They're only, I think, between $2 and $3 a piece. So buy yourself a couple extra just in case you mess it up. So as far as the welding goes, well, first off, you have to come around the backside, and you're going to cut all this mess out of here. So cut this all off on the inside, and then on the outside, what I did was I welded all these up. So these right here, you can just, if you pushed hard enough on the backside, sorry, I'm doing this all one-handed. If you pushed on those little tabs hard enough on the backside, you could theoretically push them up, because you can see they're only attached right there, one spot. So what I do is I weld around them, and then I weld these holes shut. Same thing here. I weld this whole thing, basically weld it up with no holes, and then I just grind the top of it off. And That may take 5 minutes each, so if you know how to weld, it goes pretty easy. And then on the back side, what I do is I take a bolt. You can see on this one I got done already over here. I took a bolt and I cut the top of it off so it lays flat, and I welded that bolt straight on there. So now you got this kind of system here going on. So once you got that done, you need to go, I think I got these at Ace Hardware. I'm not real sure how big these are. Let me find my measuring tape here. Hold on one sec. Okay, here we go. Got the measuring tape here. It looked like they're about a little less than 1.5 inches big on the fat side. Flipped around. And these things are super cheap too, so you can buy a handful of them, experiment with them. I wish I could remember what exactly it said on the package. And then on the skinny side, you can see they're about 1.25 inches. And you can see how they kind of taper. So yeah, so you buy these things, and then you basically drill a hole through the middle of it, and you take one of these dills. All right, so you buy these dills right here. I don't know what the heck they are, but you can see they're threaded inside. And then you basically, once you drill that hole in there, and you got to kind of wallow it out a little bit so that little dill will fit in there. And then put that on there. Push it in there pretty tight. Like so. And what I did was, it goes in there easy right now because these ones are kind of old, but what I did was that I took this and I put it in the vise. I just squeezed that vise down on there so that way it just jams those things in there. Let me show you. Again, I'm doing this all one-handed, so bear with me. So I put that all on there like that, and I just kind of squeeze that in there and make sure that it kind of seats in there pretty good. Sorry. So there you go. You can see how that's seated in there pretty good. And then what I do after that, I take a little bit of duct tape and I wrap it around there so it kind of holds that in. Let me show you. Okay, so this is what this piece looks like all completed. So my little metal thing that I showed you that was threaded is right here at the bottom. And then the top side is going to be the tapered side. It's the fattest. And basically there's your hole on the top there. And then what happens is see if I can, this is where I need an assistant. So now I'm going to demonstrate this in the bed too. Basically, this is going to go down in there, and this rubber thing jams in there. It fits in there real tight. You'll have a real hard time pulling it out once you get them in there. And then this will go on here like that. You can imagine this is down in the bed, this part here, and this screws down into it. And you just turn it, and it's going to thread all the way down in there and hold it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are back in the bed of the pickup truck, and here's one that's unfinished, and it's kind of a side-by-side. That's the smaller one, the 3.5, and that's the 4. You can see that's the one that goes in the middle because that one's bigger. So this deal here, here's one that I had taken out. That's the same thing here. So what you do is that'll screw in here, and I'm gonna screw this one out. This takes quite a few turns. It's not all the way in there. I just did this for demonstration purposes, but you'll have to screw it out. And there you go. That's what it's out. And this little rubber thing here is now in there. And you can see this opening right here is a smaller diameter than this rubber deal. So once it goes in there, you'll have to squeeze it and finagle it to get in there, but it sits down in there. and it's not coming out. So then when you take this and screw it in there, because it's got that little threaded gizmo in there. I don't know what those things are called. Somebody in the comments I'm sure will tell me. And like I said, it takes a little while to turn these things in. But once you get it turned all the way in, it's solid. It's not going anywhere. I mean, you can kick them. You can, I mean, they're not moving anywhere. So yeah, they're pretty tough, and they're way better than those stupid plastic things that Ford gives us. Now, for the middle one, I had to do something a little bit different, mainly because that gap is a little bigger in there. So this one, you can see that I don't have that thing, that hole's too big. I couldn't figure out a way to, oh, and this will kind of give you another idea here. So you can see when you put the 4-inch one on there, there's a little gap right there. So it's still not quite big enough. So you can see with this one, what I did is I welded a flange on there. You can see it from the top. A little bit of a flange on there. So that way it basically filled up that gap. See there how that works? And I'm gonna cut in here with another video, but I'll show you I got that flange at Lowe's, get them at Home Depot or whatever, and basically it's for a sink. You see I found one here from Dustainer. This one in particular was pretty expensive. It was like 50 bucks for this thing, but you definitely don't, the one I got I think was about $12. I can't seem to find one in the store, but you're gonna have to check around and find one. This will kind of give you a better idea of how the flange is going to work. And this is going to be only for your center puck one. The smaller ones you won't need any of that. So kind of get an idea of how the flange is going to work. And what you do is you'll have to, you can see how thick that metal is in there. You have to cut all this stuff off with a grinding wheel. Just leave this flange exposed. And if you can find something else that'll work too, by all means, but this is what I found that works. Inside of a sink, basically the drain area, just cut that off and welded it on there. And then the plastic plug that normally went in here, which is this thing right here, I basically just drilled the bolt through it. I welded the bolt on the back side of it, just like I showed you earlier. Then instead of using one of those rubber grommet things, I just put it right through the factory plastic one, and that just kind of, and this worked real well because it cinches in there real good. I've never had it pop out. So I put that on there, smack it down, and look how tight that is. Same thing, it's not going anywhere. So like I said, this is actually a fairly easy product to do. It's just a little bit, you know, a lot of people don't have welders, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to weld that stuff up. I'm sure somebody else could come up with another idea. But I searched the internet like crazy trying to find ideas to do this stuff, and I couldn't find one. So I just kind of came up with this idea on my own. I've had these in here for, gosh, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 8 months. Not real sure, but I have not had one single issue with them coming loose or losing them or popping out of there or scuffing. I mean, it's these surfaces as tough as regular Rhino line. Actually, this is not Rhino line. This is the other one, Linex. I'm sorry. This is a Linex bed, not a Rhino line. But yeah, that stuff's pretty tough. I don't have any issues with it. So yeah, hopefully this gave you guys some ideas on how to do it. You can do it yourself, and it'll be a lot better than those stupid plastic ones that they give us. Maybe Ford will watch this video and maybe change their design a little bit. Wouldn't be that hard at all to make these standard for these beds. Anyways, thanks for watching.